Salute to all the diehards. This is Diehard Giants Live, and I'm your host. I am Jarrell on IG and Twitter. Another week, another loss, but we have some exciting news this week. If you well know, if you um follow any social media pages, especially when it comes to the Giants or any type of sports pages, because it was all over ESPN. We got a new quarterback, and we'll talk about it. I got Steph in the back. Hold on, let me get Steph going on. What up, Steph?
Hey, hey, I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
All right, man. We're gonna talk about some football real quick. How you doing?
I'm good. Things are going well in life, and the Giants season has kicked off. This was media day for the Knicks, so we in full effect now
Oh
for the next
yeah.
2 months.
I keep on forgetting it was media day. I saw we'll talk about the Knicks real quick. I saw Mike Brown press conference, but I didn't see any of the players yet. So I gotta go back either tonight or tomorrow and look at those because I know we're gonna talk about them on Thursday.
Yeah, it was all the same, Terrell. A lot of talking and not much being said.
Kind of figured that. I usually don't even sometimes I be skipping the press conferences, especially like the introductory press conference.
Yeah,
I know a lot of
yeah,
people like those, and Mike Brown's was no different than any other coach when he had first got introduced to us. But
yeah,
and just like you said, the press conference that he had today wasn't nothing special. But I know we're going to talk about that on Thursday.
yeah. We
Today,
sure
we
will.
today we actually talk about the Giants, man. Like the Giants lost again, 22-9 to the Kansas City Chiefs. Let me get the scores up here. Yeah, we're going through the stats real quick. We're going to have a lot to talk about. Salute to everybody in the chat. Dwayne, Wonder Woman, Kareem is in the chat. Y'all already know y'all family. Y'all here every week. All three of y'all was here last week, man. I appreciate y'all. Yeah, let's get into it, Steph. Russell
Yeah.
Wilson, the I was going to say the man of the hour, but I don't even know what to call that. What's the opposite of the man of the hour?
Ah, yeah. I'm not sure.
Man. So let's just say he's the man that a lot of people don't like right now. I like Russ personally. Just as a person first. Never had any problem with him in the league, even before he played for the Giants. But obviously he's not a starting caliber quarterback anymore. At least not for this team. And he got his job taken. But we'll talk about the stats and the game, and then we'll get into Jackson Dart. We signed a kicker today from the Falcons. We'll get all into that. But yeah, the Kansas City Chiefs beat us again, 22-9. Our offense was stagnant again. I know a lot of people had hopes, high hopes, especially from last week. Even though we lost to Dallas, we had a very, very good offensive game. But that was more about Dallas than us. I'm like, don't get me wrong. I know that you know we have to take it, and they didn't give us anything. But Dallas's defense obviously looks very, very bad. Like they haven't had a good defensive game all season so far. I know it's only been 3 games, but obviously I think our offense needed a jump start, just like the coaches thought. Our defense just pretty much just hanging on, um, try to compensate from our offense being so inept. Um, Russell Wilson, 18 for 32, 160 yards, and 2 interceptions, no touchdowns. It was a tough day for him, man. Like, you got any words for Russell Wilson? I know that this might be the last time you see him. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely, it was a rough outing for him. He did not play well at all. Coming off of week two, in which I thought he played very well, and I thought the defense came up short. I'm still not sold on the Giants defense. We could talk more, we could talk more about that. But
okay,
last night, excuse me, Sunday, he was just a hot mess. But similar to basketball, though, when you try to pin it on just one person, you do got to talk about the offense. You got to talk about the defense. You got to talk about the scheme. You got to talk about the play calling. Like,
word.
I don't think just, and we'll get more into this, changing the quarterback is going to fix everything as if
Mhm.
Russell Wilson is the absolute only problem the Giants have. We'll talk more about it. But he was a hot mess Sunday. He
Yeah,
really was.
yeah. I don't know what it was. It's not like the. Don't get me wrong. Kansas City's defense is a pretty good defense. They're above average. I would say top 10 or at least around that range in the bottom 10. Um, but yeah, it's not like they was the steel curtain out there. Like our offensive line still offensive lining. Uh, uh, like I saw all the PFT, no
Mhm.
PSF,
PT,
PTF. Yeah, sorry.
PTF.
Uh, I saw all of their grades. Andrew Thomas finally came back after a long hiatus. For some reason, they had him on a pitch count like he was Mitchell Robinson or something with a minutes restriction. I ain't really get that. That don't usually happen in football. Usually, if you can play, you can play. While he was on the field, Andrew Thomas was our best offensive player, graded out like he graded out like in the high 70s and the 80s when it came to run blocking and pass blocking, while all of our other offensive linemen graded out in like the 40s and 50s. That's how bad everybody else was on that line. Everybody else, they had multiple pressures against them. Andrew Thomas had zero in the entire first half that he played. So you know, it's kind of bittersweet because obviously he's a Pro Bowl, all pro caliber offensive tackle, but if he can't stay on the field, it really doesn't matter if he can't play a whole game. So we'll see how it goes with him. The offensive line, even though Cam Scatterboo, as you can see, our rookie running back had 10 carries for 60 yards and 6 yards per carry and a touchdown, and he had like six. Yeah, it's down there 6 receptions, 61 yards, no touchdowns. But he had 120 yards from the line of scrimmage. He had a very very good game. Tyrone Tracy, everybody sent a prayer up for him. He dislocated his shoulder, and so he will be out for about. My guess, it all depends. He's a running back, so obviously his shoulders are important. So they say 2 to 3 weeks. I wouldn't expect him back for like another month, probably, to keep
Okay.
it safe. Especially if we do have a running back that's suitable for taking his place, like Cam Scatterboo. And to be
Mhm.
honest, it looked like Cam Scatterboo was taking over his snaps anyway. Um, yeah, between the running game, we really couldn't run the ball. I know it's like the averages on there as high as at 4.1. Russ had 5.4. But all in all, we really couldn't get that much on the ground. Hopefully, going forward with Andrew Thomas, the more he plays, the more we can get the running backs get going. Um, Devin Singletary, I don't even know why Devin Singletary's on this team. They was up there. He was kick returning. I ain't never seen him return kicks before. So it seems like it seems like they're like, since we're paying you all this money, yeah, we're gonna have you return kicks. We might as well.
Right.
So receiving wise, obviously Cam Scatterboo being the number one receiver on this team with 61 yards is a terrible day for wide receivers. Our wide receivers already, don't get that many looks except for Malik Neighbors, and they pretty much bracketed him all game. I rewatched the game. Obviously, they pretty much had too high safety the whole game, so that means wasn't no deep passes. They wasn't having what we did to Dallas happen to them. The defensive coordinator Spagnola is obviously our ex defensive coordinator. He's very very good. He might make the Hall of Fame as a coach one day if he keeps coaching. That's how good he's been as a contributor to the NFL when it comes to defense. Multiple Super Bowl winner, and he kicked Brian Dable's ass last night or Sunday, like you said. Not last night. I keep on thinking it's Monday.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like the Spagnola did his thing. Like Wandale Robinson only had one catch all game for 26 yards. It was a very, very good catch over the middle. Yeah, Neighbors didn't catch a ball until the fourth quarter, I think. Two
Mhm.
catches for 13 yards. Like, what are we gonna do with that? The tight ends was pretty
Right.
much non-existent. Yeah, man. Like this offense, obviously, you know, there's a reason why we're switching quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So we can get into the defense a little bit. Like I don't really get into the tackles and stuff. I'll just talk about how they played. I'm like, I'll ask you first. How did you think our defense was? Because Kansas City only scored 22 points. You got to think about like how bad our offense was. Our defense was on the field like a lot.
Yeah, I think it was the opposite from week two. I
Hmm.
thought the defense was so bad, in my opinion, last week two,
Hmm.
that they needed to be better, and I thought they would be better this coming Sunday, and they were, So 22 points, yeah. I mean, that's you should be able to win a game, or at least be in a game, have a chance to win a game when a team only scores 22 points. We got to have a game though where both the defense and the offense are present. But I thought the defense was good enough. Was good enough Sunday.
Ain't that something? Having an offense and defense play good in the same game. Ain't that something? Like who'd have thunk that? Whoever thunk that the Giants can have a game like that? Like we haven't have a game like that in a while. It's almost like I want to see if I can say any more about this game before we talk about Jackson Dart, but it's almost like every Sunday, man, like we come here and say, yeah, it's another loss. And the way that we lose is always a little different every time. Like we find different ways to lose. Um, and even though we are switching quarterbacks, I don't think Brian Dable's job is safe. I think this is a Hail Mary for Joe Shane and Brian Dable.
Facts.
So even though if Jackson Dart, and we'll go with talk about him in depth a little more, but even with him being the change, if he plays well, I don't think they should keep their job. If he doesn't play well, I still don't put that on him. Like he's still a rookie. Um,
Right.
but I like him though. We definitely gonna get into him. So first, let's talk about yeah, just real quick. Like I said, we lost 22-9. Um,
Wow.
we named Jackson Dart our starting quarterback, and we signed a kicker. We'll talk about Young Ho Q real quick just to get him out of the way. He is a kicker that just been recently released from the Falcons, um, which is kind of crazy because they released him for missing a couple kicks, right? But then the kicker that they signed can't kick either. And the kicker that they signed seemed like is worse than he is, and we pretty much stole the Falcons starting kicker. Like
Wow.
say if this was like fantasy or something like that, and he would have been the number one kicker to get, for all the
Wow.
teams in the league, because I think he's the best kicker available because he was the starting kicker for the Falcons just 2 weeks ago. So
Right.
we signed him to the practice squad. I think we did it this early on a Tuesday because you have to be on the practice squad at least a few days before Sunday. Like case in point, you can't sign a person to the practice squad like on Saturday and then have him on the active roster on Sunday.
On Sunday.
I think you have to have a few practices under your belt. I think that's the NFL rule. I could be wrong. But I think you have to at least go through like 2 or 3 practices. So tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday is already those 3 practices. And hopefully, my thinking that they will sign him to um, the active roster no later than like Friday. We'll probably get a another update from the Giants. Um, yeah, but Jackson Dart, man, like since you've seen him did you watch any preseason games?
I didn't catch any preseason games.
Okay.
I caught some snaps, but not full games.
So like highlights and stuff. You at least seen him
I
throw the
saw.
ball and stuff
Yeah,
like that,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Yes,
So
yes. So I saw.
just from the highlights, even though you didn't see the whole game and you hardly probably saw any of his mistakes, just for the highlights that you saw, were you impressed at all
I
by
was
his play?
impressed because the sense I got when the Giants drafted him was that it was going to take some time. Now,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why they signed Wilson and Winston. Now, what I wasn't clear on was Did they feel like Dart needed more development? He wasn't quite there? Or was it more about whether he's there or not? We're not trying to put him in this position really early, right out the gate. We're gonna sign some veterans so he to take the pressure off. But from
Okay.
what I've seen in preseason, he looked better than I think people expected him to look
Right.
when when he got into the game. And I think he impressed enough in preseason that he was named quarterback number two. I don't think that was the plan coming in. But his reads, his throws, the windows. I don't want to get too much into the windows because remember Danny Dimes because he was getting things in tight windows.
Right.
So I
Right.
don't want
Right.
to get too much into that. But he looked good,
Right.
in the preseason and one quarterback, QB2. So we'll see. It's a different scenario coming up this week.
But the crazy part is that Danny Dimes actually had a good preseason too. So a lot of people was
Right.
actually itching
That's where they
for
got the name from.
right. Exactly. So that's why
Right.
a lot of people was excited for Daniel Jones, just like they are for Jackson Dart. Hopefully, it'll be a little different. I personally think that he's better than Daniel Jones coming in as a prospect. We can get into that a little bit. Hold on. Jackson's Dart. This is the slide that I had for him when I did the draft show. So I kind of figured that I might as well bring this back up just in case a lot of people don't know what he was about in college playing for Ole Miss. His strengths were pro quarterback leadership qualities. Like he's the type of dude that people gravitate towards. He's I don't know. He's just a natural born leader. Everybody says nice things about him. Seems like the coaches like love his work ethic. Like he's first one in, last one out. Uh,
Mhm.
Accurate throws, very aggressive. That could be a gift and a curse sometimes, especially in the NFL and you're a rookie. Because of that, the very aggressive part, I expect Jackson Dart to have a lot of mistakes that are going to be a little cringeworthy. But he's a rookie, so I expect him to throw like interceptions that have bad reads and stuff like that. Could find some yards on the ground. Very athletic kid for his build. Um, if you see if you've seen him in the packages that they've um, gave him so far during the season, like he's like a stark difference between him and Russell Wilson, just by the way he moves in the pocket and stuff like that. Like it's not they're not the same at all. Like at this point, even though Russell Wilson was athletic when he came in, because of his age, like 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 Jackson Dart is way more athletic than him now. Like that's why when he gets in the game now, sometimes he doesn't even throw the ball. They're all running packages and RPOs and stuff. His weaknesses, average physical attributes, even though I don't know, it's just I guess it's the way he runs into his pocket presence that he's athletic enough to get away and get away from sacks and stuff.
Mhm.
No experience in the pro system. I put that as a weakness, but now it's not really a weakness to me now since I've seen him in the preseason. So I'm not worried about that at all. Like it was a weakness when he came into the league, but now that I've seen him in preseason and I've seen him take some snaps under center in the regular season a little bit, I'm not worried about that at all. And the bad decision in big games is definitely concerning. Just that has a lot to do with that aggressiveness that I've talked about before.
Right.
Those are his measurements. He's not like Eli. He came in at like 6'5" and had the stature of like Peyton and stuff like that. But yeah, he's an athletic kid that has a strong arm and he's tough as nails. So that's what we're getting out of Jackson Dart. Um, he was picked. We moved up to get him at 25. It's not like he's a top 10 pick or a top 5 pick. So if he doesn't make it, don't get me wrong, I'd actually be shocked if Jackson Dart is successful in the league. But will he be successful with this coaching staff? That will remain to be seen. I don't know if I trust this coaching staff enough yet. And I think that's all we got about Jackson Dart, man. Like I'm excited. We play the Chargers, who some may think is the best team in the league, and we'll see. Like it's between them, the Eagles. Who else is 3-0? I'm trying to think who else is 3-0. But I know them and the Eagles is pretty much Baltimore, even though they lost to the Lions. So between the Chargers, the Lions, the Ravens, and the Eagles, like we play the team and the Chargers next week.
Right.
Yeah, so we could talk about the coaching staff a little bit before we get out of here. I don't know if anybody have any questions in the chat. Hold on, let me see if anybody got questions in the chat.
Oh, we're not gonna comment on the change itself.
Yeah, I mean we can. I mean, what did you have for like the change itself? Like, what, like you thought it
Yeah.
was like good timing, bad timing?
I I'm concerned, Jarrell.
Okay.
I'm concerned. I get it. This is why I'm concerned. Are the Giants ruining is kind of strong. It's kind of
Mhm.
strong. But is this just natural process? You bring in a veteran quarterback like when Eli Manning was here,
Mhm.
and after 2, 3, 4 games, you turn over the reins to your number one, to the quarterback that you drafted. Doesn't look like the season is going anywhere. I think that's fine. I think that's fine.
Mhm.
But this is my concern with this. I feel like the Giants came into this season. Nope, we're not going to ruin him. We're not going to throw him into the fire really quick. We're going to bring in two established quarterbacks. He may not even play at all this year.
Right.
All of a sudden, there's a little adversity. Everything changes. And so, how much of this is motivated by, like you said, they trying to keep their jobs? So, it's I don't know if I'm explaining it right. Is Dart ready? Is this the natural progression that you see with a lot of quarterbacks after the third, fourth, fifth? You bring them in, or is this them panicking because of their job, not even waiting for an easier game to bring him in, throwing
Mhm.
him in against the chart? You understand what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
just feel like it seems like more of a panic move. Is this in the best interest of Dart's development?
Hmm.
Um, or are they just trying to, they shaking because they know that this is the last Dart they have. But there was no pun intended, but it did come out right. Like this is their last Dart, and they're gonna throw it. And they're gonna throw it right now. I don't know. I just feel like I hope what's giving me a little pause is that he looked the part in preseason.
Right.
Right. If he didn't look the part in preseason, I would be even more concerned. But I just feel like don't ruin. I know this is really strong. Throwing
Mhm.
him to the wolves because you're trying to salvage your your job instead of allowing him to move up. And it's not like he's picked 25. Eli Manning was the number what?
One.
He was a top number one pick. Like
Yes.
those guys I can see, like 4 or 5 weeks they saw enough. He's picked number 25.
Right.
I don't know. I just have a little concern. But listen, he may answer all of those questions Sunday and be ready, because and
Right.
maybe they're doing this because of what they see in behind the scenes. I'm just wondering how much of it is, you know, them fearful.
That's a very, very good question. I think the answer is a little bit of both. I think if there was a better quarterback on his roster, he wouldn't be playing.
Mm,
Um, but it's almost like but to answer your question, it is a little bit of both. Yes, they're trying to salvage their jobs because Jackson Dart is the future, and they want to hurry up and see if he's able to process stuff fast enough for this to work out, especially in his first year. Nobody thinks that he's going to like shock the world or anything. He is the
Right.
25th pick overall. He's not a top 10 pick. I think he will be successful personally, but that's just because of Jackson Dart. Now, not our coaching staff. Usually, when rookies do go in, they'll lose their confidence, especially when they get beat up by a bad offensive line.
Right. Right.
Jackson Dart is at least mobile enough to not
Right.
get beat up back there. Um, and he's smart enough to like throw the ball away if he gets into trouble. Not saying that he's not going to take any hits back there because our offensive line is not that good. We have a below average offensive line. But to answer your question, it is definitely a little bit of both. Some it is normal for rookie quarterbacks to sit the bench at least a little bit. Cam Ward didn't. He's the number one pick in the draft. Some number one picks of the draft sit a little bit too, but they at least play some their first year.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, I think Josh Allen. I think he started from the jump, but like Patrick Mahomes, what he sat the bench for almost 2 years. When with KC when they drafted him, and he wasn't a top like five pick either. So it's natural to have a bridge quarterback. Um, I don't know if you're supposed to have two bridge quarterbacks because our quarterback room was so bad we had to sign two bridge quarterbacks in order to fill our quarterback room for our rookie. Like
Right.
we picked the two best quarterbacks on the market at their age at a cheap price. If you ask me, like the only quarterback that was better than them two, that was either quote unquote better, but a lot more expensive was Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron
Right.
Rodgers was their number one pick in the offseason. A
Right.
lot of people forget that, like he chose the Steelers over us naturally because the
Right.
Steelers are a better team. But we were waiting. We was waiting for before we signed Russell Wilson. We signed Jameis Winston first,
Right.
but then we was waiting for. We always signed Jameis to a backup. You could tell by how much money we gave him. But
Right.
our starting quarterback was supposed to be Aaron Rodgers, and we sat there for 2 weeks and waited for him just to say no and
Remember
just
that.
pick the Steelers. So after that, that's when we got Russell Wilson, and you can tell that Russell Wilson was supposed to be like a bridge or a stand-in while he was here, just because of the contract that he signed. He didn't sign for that big of money, and it's only for a year. So after this year, we can get rid of Russell Wilson. Or we can just cut him this year if we wanted to. I don't think it's no dead money on the cap because I think like we have an option after this year to get rid of him anyway. So we actually could cut Russell Wilson by the end of this week. Jackson Dart could be the number one, and Jameis Winston could be the number two. It could really happen that way if we wanted to. So it's not like I think that they brought Russell Wilson in because we're going to the playoffs with him. Going to the playoffs with him or going to win a Super Bowl with him. I think he was
Right.
really here just for a placeholder for Jackson Dart. Um, but is he ready? Probably not. But when you 0-3, when you 0-3, you won one game in the last 16, I believe. Like out of say if you combine the last three losses that we had and
Hmm.
last like either 13 or 14 games from last season, we're at 1-15 in our last 16 games. And a couple years ago, that's a whole season, and we only won like 3 games all last year.
Right.
If we would have kept Russell Wilson in, it would have looked like we might not have won a game all season the way he's been playing. But
But
yeah,
what was the expectations like? Did they expect they was going to be 3-0? Did they expect they were like? What are the expectations? What were the expectations coming in?
I think it's how it looked. It's not the 3-0 part. I think it's the way it looked. Like you can't be, your offense can be so stagnant that it looks embarrassing. Like it almost saved Russell Wilson just because he had the second game versus Dallas. Say if he was horrible in that game too. Jackson's Dart might have started the last game in game three, but it's kind of hard to sit Russell Wilson down after he almost throws for 500 yards because the other defense was so bad. So I think the plan was to sit Jackson Dart as long as possible. But if Russell Wilson can't handle it, then yeah, you got to put him in because even though he's a rookie, like you'll lose a locker room quick if the best guy for the job is not on the field. It doesn't matter what year they're in. So like they're not gonna much as they like Russ, and he's a like a alpha leader too. Like he's known to be a leader in the locker room, a leader of men or whatever. Um, but if he's not the best person for the job, and the kid is, the coach will lose the locker room really, really fast. It doesn't matter how old he is. The best person for the job needs to play in football.
But
So
how do they? How do you think the locker room thinks that Dart is better than Wilson right now?
yes, or if they
Wow.
didn't think that, they wouldn't have made the change. Because if you do make that change and they don't think that he's better than Russell Wilson, you can lose the locker room in that way too. Like the locker room can be real fickle. Like if you try to play with them, like the people are out there getting hurt. Like if they don't believe in the quarterback that you have in place, that they can win a game, like you can lose whether you start Dart or not. Like it doesn't matter who starts. I need the best person to in the position to play the minutes or play the snaps or whatever. It doesn't matter if it's Russell Wilson or Jackson Dart. It's not a personal thing. So even though they probably, Russ is a vet. He's a Hall of Famer that he's going to be in one day. But as of right now, much as they respect him, I think in the locker room they like he probably he can't. It'll be better if the kid plays.
Jarrell, they could be saying that,
Hmm.
or they can also be saying because there is a learning curve for rookie quarterbacks.
True.
They could also be saying we just gave up on the season. We going with the rookie quarterback in game 4. I mean, what's now us outside might be thinking, yeah, I wasn't going to the playoffs anyway. Yeah, I wasn't going. But in that locker room, you always feel like there's a chance. In that locker room, you always feel like we can get to 8-8 and get the.
Hmm.
It's possible that they're like, we going with the rookie quarterback in week 4.
Yeah, I don't know. You
I don't know.
have you seen Malik Neighbors face lately? When
But Malik Neighbors is always complaining. His face is always like that when he don't get the ball.
it's not the not get the ball thing. It's not when he don't get the ball. But you are right in those instances too. I see his body languages because they losing and the way that they're losing. Like the one of them plays that Russell Wilson, like when we was in the red zone. You saw the game, right? You saw all the game.
Yes, that's what again. I did
So
all of it.
the red zone offense that we had when we actually got down there, what might have been the worst red zone offense I've ever seen. Russell Wilson threw the ball away twice. The coach called on second, I think it was like second or 14 because we had a penalty or something. They ran a quarterback draw in the red zone. And then Russell Wilson threw the ball away on fourth down and it hit the upright like he was kicking a field goal. Like after that, if you're a wide receiver, I know he pouts when he don't get the ball, but even if the ball is not coming to me, you threw the damn ball to the goalpost on fourth down, like you threw it away, like you. I think the spirit of this team couldn't ride with Russell Wilson anymore, just by the way that he was playing. If that makes sense, if
It
it
does.
was, even if you put Jameis Winston in and not Jackson Dart, like they might think that Jameis Winston might have a better um, go at it than Russell Wilson at this point. Like he was absolutely terrible. Like we couldn't pass in
No,
the
he
middle of
was.
the field. He couldn't. Like it was a lot of stuff. It wasn't all on him because I
I
actually
was
think
about to say,
it's not. It's
Jarrell,
not.
because of
It's
the
not
way
on him.
they played neighbors, I don't know who could have got the ball to neighbors and the offensive line. I mean, listen, I'm not here pounding the table for
I know.
Russell Russell Wilson. I'm just saying it's a lot of times it looks like the quarterback, but
Hmm.
sometimes it's the offensive line, sometimes it's the play calling. Like what was that quarterback? Was that did he do that or was that a play call from the sideline?
Well, I know one thing as a coach, right? If you're in the red zone, it's fourth down, and you got to score a touchdown. If you throw the ball away, I'm sitting you. I
No,
don't
no,
care what
not
I
that. The
call.
quarterback sneak. The quarterback sneak I'm talking about.
Oh,
But yes,
that was a
the not
Rambo.
the quarterback sneak. Yeah, quarterbacks. Yeah,
The quarterback sneak, yeah, that was a
yeah.
design play. Like to me, don't get me wrong, I think the coaching has been terrible. The coaching has been absolutely awful. That's almost like a different subject, to be honest. Like I'm just talking about Russell Wilson and the way he played. It could have been a nut like Jackson Dart could have played that game. We still could have lost the way that Brian Dable or Mike Kafka was calling that game. I'm just saying it
Right.
probably would have looked
Yeah.
better with the kid.
Right.
The team will rally around him probably a little bit more. They'll be a little more excited just by the stuff that he can do compared to Russell Wilson now physically.
Right.
But regardless of who's playing quarterback, our coaching staff absolutely stink. We could just stop talking about quarterbacks right now and just get on them. I think Brian Dable is a dead man walking. He should have got fired in the offseason. Him and Joe Shane should have been working for somebody else right now. But they did not do that. Like if it was up to me and I was the owner, I would have got rid of both of them in the offseason. It would have been the perfect time because we drafted a starting quarterback. But I think this is going to be one of the times, just like the Chicago Bears did this past offseason. They drafted Caleb Williams. He had a lackluster rookie year. He was the number one pick. They fired their coaching staff and then brought somebody else in. I think that probably going to happen with us. Deep down inside, I don't think that they're like Joe Shane and Brian Dable. I don't think they're like married to each other. I don't think they're handcuffed to the hip. I think Brian Dable is going to go first. And if it's too bad, if it like say if the season like completely tanks and we lose like every game except for like maybe like we 2-15,
Mm.
Joe Shane need to go too. But like I don't think the Giants are going to fire Brian Dable mid-season because that's not how we do things. But the some of the stuff that I've seen, I would have fired him. I don't care what week it was. Like some of the stuff that I see him doing, like that red zone offense was absolutely atrocious. I don't know what he was calling, and they say Mike Kafka is the one calling plays. He sucked too. Like our coordinators aren't good. Brian Dable, our original defense coordinator, Wink Martindale, I liked him, but he had a personal thing with Brian Dable, and they end up letting him go. And they hired like their fourth option for defensive coordinator in Shane Bolton, and he's not that good either. I think all of this has been a complete shit show, and Jackson Dart is the only reason we should even be excited right now. Which is crazy because he wasn't even our first pick. Our first pick was Abdul Carter, and we haven't even mentioned him, even though
Right.
he's playing okay now for a rookie
Yeah.
linebacker because he's actually playing out of position because one of our linebackers got hurt, and then the backup got hurt too. So they have Abdul Carter playing. A lot of people think that he actually hasn't been playing well, but for what they've been asking him to do, he's been playing out of position for the past 2 weeks.
Right.
Um, Yeah, so this roster isn't made properly. We don't have depth in key positions. Because of that, our number one rookie is playing out of position, and he can't rush the quarterback like he wants to.
Hmm.
Be a stand-up off-ball linebacker to take the place of Micah McFadden. So yeah, it's the coaches, it's the front office. If it was me, I would tear everything down. I would keep some of the players. Obviously, we have some talent on this team, but yeah, I'll get rid of all the coaches. Like it wasn't Russell Wilson's fault the way that we played. He didn't play well, but we
Right.
did not lose because of Russell Wilson. We suck as a football team in general.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Look at Dwayne. I could have called a better game than the coach. See, we out here playing Madden and do better than the coaches that they did, man. That red zone offense was atrocious. I didn't know what the hell they were doing. And it didn't look like Russell Wilson knew they was calling either. It was weird, man.
Oh, he threw one in the tunnel, basically saying, "That's where I want to go next."
Yo, Steph, I'm so mad. Yo, he threw one in the tunnel, and that's not even the one that I'm talking about that he hit the damn upright.
That was called an intentional ground. Was both of them called an intentional grounding?
No, because somebody like if it's that's at least near a receiver where the upright is, this dude threw
That
in the tunnel
no,
like,
that
with a
that should
flange.
have been intentional grounding too. They just looked and said, "Okay, he right there in the vicinity. All right, we're gonna give him a pass."
And plus, they would have got it was fourth down, so it wouldn't have
It was
mattered. It would have
fourth
been
down.
third
Yeah,
down on downs. But
yeah,
yeah, he threw one in the tunnel, and they was two plays back to back. Step that was third and fourth down. He threw the ball away like that. So yeah, as a coach, I don't care what I call, throw it to somebody, even if it's an interception in the end zone.
right,
I'd rather you throw it
right.
in as a player. Say if I'm Malik Neighbors, I'd rather you just try to fit it in there and give me a chance instead of throwing it and try to make a field goal when you throwing the ball. He hit the uprights, man. That was crazy. Hold on, let me see. Check the chat. Wonder Woman said she think David was trying to salvage his job. Well, yeah, when you that bad at your job, the way that he's been losing, when you that bad at your job, you better try to salvage it. Like putting the kid in and having some type of energy on his team was pretty much their only choice, to be honest, in my estimation. Even though I don't think he would have got fired, it would have been really, really bad if Russell Wilson, when they went out there again and they would have had the same type of performance they did with Kansas City, because the Chargers is better than Kansas City. They beat the brakes off Kansas City in week one. So we got a hard road, man. We play Kansas City, the Eagles. No, we play Kansas City, the Saints, and like the Eagles twice or something like that. Let me see what our
But that's what I'm saying. They couldn't. It was that bad that they couldn't wait another week to put him in, because this he's going up against the Chargers. That's not going to be. It's
our
not going to
our,
be easy.
our whole hold on. I got this schedule right here. Our whole season is like that. We have the hardest schedule in the league. So Jackson, say if you would have
That's
kept
true. That's
Russell
true.
Wilson, he would have played again in the Chargers. Then maybe start him against the Saints. But after that is the Eagles, the Broncos, who has a top five D, then the Eagles again, then the 49ers.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like Brian Dable was like, no, I got to get this kid in as soon as possible. There's no way in hell I would have looked at Russell Wilson for another 6 games playing them people. Oh no, it would have been a mutiny in that locker room if they would have had the same type of performance that they had versus Kansas City and Washington in the first week. I don't even count the second week against Dallas because Dallas sucked too.
Yeah, yeah. But Dallas sucked.
Mhm.
But the Giants still had an opportunity to win that
Yep.
game multiple times.
And just like a team that loses, they found a way to lose instead of finding a way to win. That's the coaching
And
staff.
the coaching didn't help either. Okay.
That's the coaching staff. Yes, that wasn't a players thing. That was a coaching staff. I know Russell Wilson threw an interception. It was like a miscommunication with Malik Neighbors. But if my quarterback throws for almost 500 yards, uh, him throwing the last interception in overtime, I don't blame Russell Wilson for that. It was just a miscommunication. Shit like that happens. The
Right.
other stuff that happened in that game, like the penalties and stuff like that, that does not happen. Like we had, what I say last week, we had over almost 200 yards of penalties. They called 20, like 21 penalties on us, and 14. It was only 14 that was actually um, like stuck because of like double penalties and stuff like that. But they threw the flag 21 times on us. That's all coaching. So yes, this coaching staff,
And
the
the prevent defense is coaching too. We
coaching.
rushing one play. I'm playing.
Uh,
I'm exaggerating.
I,
Like what? It's like, what are we doing?
yeah, that's stuff like that. Just like Dwayne said, he could call it a game. Like stuff like that, you don't even do in Madden. I'm not playing that defense. You just fall back and you could just catch whatever in front of me, so you could just kick a field goal. That made no
Like
sense.
what? No sense.
Made no sense at all.
No sense. Especially when with the rushes that they had. I don't know.
Made no sense at all, man. So I don't know, Steph. Like, I'm excited about Jackson Dart because that's the only thing really to be excited about for this team. Like, you almost don't have a choice but to be excited because it's
Yeah.
something different. This is the first time we had a quarterback in the first round start for our team that we drafted since Daniel Jones, and we was excited about him too taking over for Eli. So yeah, people should be excited for Jackson Dart. I don't want people to be like, I know because a lot of people didn't know anything about him when we drafted him. A lot of people wanted Shador. I was one of those people that thought we was going to draft Shador when we didn't. But now at this point, like after seeing Jackson Dart, um, seeing some interviews with him, he seemed like a tough kid. He seemed like he would be
No doubt.
successful.
No doubt.
I
No
don't
doubt.
think he's tough as nails, man. Like I don't think, say if he get beat up, he's not the type of person that would lose confidence if he was getting beat up. Like he seemed like the type of dude that would just keep coming as long. Like he seemed really, 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 really competitive. So because of that, like I like him. I just hate the coaching staff. Like I'm really over Brian Dable now.
Right.
Really over him, man. Like I think they're all going to be fired by the end of the season. And for us as fans, we need to really just focus on Jackson Dart and see how he plays. He's not going to be perfect, but that's our main focus right now.
But Jarrell, don't you think bringing a quarterback in a situation and the play calling is not great, the offensive line is not great. He does have a wide receiver. He does
Hmm.
have um a running back. I like give me his name again.
Scatterboo.
Yeah, I really like him. So he does
Scatterboo
have
tough.
that. He does have that going for him. I don't know.
I'm
Let's
about to
let's
say,
just see.
I'm about to
I
say
just
that
hope
list short. Like you only named two things. I'm about to say you can
you
stop
know,
right there. You ain't got to think of
I
nothing else.
just I just don't want him to go out and have a terrible 3 games
Hmm.
and now everybody is down on him when it's really the schemes and the coaches and the
Right,
line. You understand what I'm saying? And
right.
hopefully, to your point, though, he doesn't, lose. So that's what I mean by ruin. You know what I
I get it.
mean? Like,
Get it.
but you know, let's
I,
see.
I think what it is. I think you just have to just focus on him and how he plays through adversity.
Right.
Because if he can come back with adversity, he get hit real hard, come back on the next drive and score a touchdown, or come back in the next drive and actually show some type of fight, like he don't seem timid in the pocket. Just by any sense of pressure, he just either throws the ball away or just seems really timid, just like Russell Wilson has been
Hmm. Hmm.
acting. That's one of the main reasons Russell Wilson is being benched because he's so skittish in the pocket. I don't know if you noticed, if you watch the game, we don't have any passes in the middle of the field.
Right.
Anytime a quarterback, any type of offense, you see an offense with there's no passes being caught in the middle of the field, that's when you know like the quarterback is throwing the ball either too quickly, he's not getting his reads into the middle because it's not like no routes is being ran in the middle of the field.
Right.
I mean, he's not even getting through his progressions to even make those throws. And like,
Right.
I don't know, he's just skittish in the pocket and he gets scared and he freaks out. Like that's what happens when you get older. Like Russell Wilson wasn't always like that. Just like Jackson Dart isn't really like that now. But yeah, older quarterbacks get like that, man. It is what it is.
Yeah, I remember Eli. Eli was like that too.
Absolutely.
Um, I
And he
remember
was
that.
tough as and Eli was the exact, like he was tough as nails. He was bleeding from the forehead before getting smacked up in the pocket. So for him to be skittish after he get older, yeah, when you get old, I'm in my 40s. I don't like getting hit either.
Right.
Don't nobody feel like getting hit as they get older, man. Like Russ need to be a family man or
Not even by a gust of wind. I
nothing.
would be hit by
It
nothing.
gets too cold, Steph. My fat ass over here, like, ooh, like, oh, like it's just as you get
I
older,
need a
man.
scarf already. Wow.
In September, you want to start. I see some of the people at my job. I see some lady, she had like a whole coat on the other day. I was like, yo, it's like 70 some degrees. She was cold.
Listen. Temperature regulation as you get older is just not like it used to be. It's like them old radiators. It's just
Right.
don't work the way it used to work.
So yeah, man. So when you got like 300-pound dudes, 6'5", running up, all in your face trying to kill you. Yeah, man. You got Sierra at home with like multiple kids. Go be a family man, man. It's over, Russell Wilson. And I like Russ. This is not me trying to disrespect him in any
Yeah,
way.
no doubt, no doubt.
I have the
When
utmost
he
respect
threw it
for
in
Russell
the
Wilson.
tunnel, when he threw it to the
I might have
snack
lost a little bit. Yeah,
stands,
I might have lost a little bit of respect for him then, Steph. You're right. I was like, yo, you
oh,
gotta go.
they're skittish and they're skittish. Like, oh my god, But he threw it in the tunnel. It's like, okay,
So
okay.
yeah, so,
He
so
really nervous.
so even though Jackson Dart might not be ready, if that's why Malik Neighbors, I get the like your point because he does get real pouty when he doesn't get the ball. But if I see my quarterback like that, yeah, I'm pouty. Like we not winning nothing. Like it has to be some type of light at the end of that tunnel that he threw in for me to be like a number one wide receiver. He had zero balls and no yards in the third quarter. Steph, like he didn't get the ball into the fourth. So yeah, like that.
But the defense has something to do with that too. The way they were playing him.
Unless they defense had like X Men on the other side, I better catch a ball before the fourth quarter.
They
Like
had
that
two. They
doesn't
had
matter.
two.
Throw a
Wow.
screen or something. I need the ball in my hands before the fourth quarter. I don't care who's on me, Steph. Like I'm the number one wide receiver on your team. I'm the only person that can make a play. I don't care if they run a slant. They have to do something to get him the ball. And that's what they actually did in the fourth quarter. As you see, he only had 2 catches for 13 yards. They finally just put the ball in his hand just to see what he can do. He didn't do much because they bracketed just like you said. But like, what type of decoy am I if you don't give me even a target into the fourth quarter?
Right.
It has to be at least a target. I'm not saying that he's supposed to get peppered with a whole bunch of um,
Right.
receptions. You got to at least throw me the ball. Throw it in the tunnel. I at least have to be the person buys the tunnel that you throw it to. You know what I'm saying? Like it was bad, man. It was bad at all angles. We didn't talk about the defense much. Dexter Lawrence not looking so sexy right now. You know what I'm saying? Sexy Dexy is not sexy right now. He has not been playing. But it's just remember we was talking about on the playing basketball. We was talking about how the players be having kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's what happened to Dexter Lawrence.
Okay.
Like we was talked about when Randall had a kid
Randall.
that
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now Dexter Lawrence him and his wife just had a baby last week.
His
Um,
first child.
I believe so. So
That
yeah,
first
like
one.
since all these past 3 weeks, he didn't play any of the preseason. He missed a lot of training camp because of his wife. I don't know what was going on between them, but
Hmm.
yeah, like he missed training camp because of that. He didn't play any of the preseason. These past 3 games, Dexter Lawrence has not been Dexter Lawrence. I don't care if he got
Right.
double teamed or not. He has not been playing his regular self. So when he plays his regular stuff, I think will probably be like in the middle of the season. I think he'll ramp
Right.
up pretty soon. This defense
Right.
is going to look completely different because that's the only reason any quarterback should be alive when we rush all 4 or 5 best pass rushers. Like if that's let me put it like this: the way that Brian Burns has been playing, Brian Burns has been playing like an all-pro defensive end right
Yes,
now.
he
He
has.
I think he's leading or partial leading or definitely top 5 in sacks because he just got a new one. I think he got 4 on the season. Kayvon Thibodeau is playing out of his mind compared like he definitely should not be called a bust or anything. He's actually playing very, very well in all 3 games. Um, the rookie Carter,
Mm-hmm.
and we still got some other pieces around along the defensive line that we should be dominating. And the only reason we're not dominating is because Dexter Lawrence isn't his dominant self. Once he becomes his dominant self and become Dexter Lawrence again, our defense is going to look different. At least in my eyes,
Yeah.
they will.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
All
Yeah.
right, so I think that's the show. We've been on here for almost an hour, man. We gave the people what they wanted. It's a good. Glad to have you back. It's football season, man. I'm glad.
It's football season. I'm locked in with the Giants too,
I'm
so
glad, man.
I'm looking forward to this game and seeing Jackson Dart and coming back and talking about it next week.
Salute to Dwayne. You said I'm excited for Jackson with the next season start. Right, because it was media day today. The training camp starts soon, and when the
Tomorrow,
tomorrow, oh yeah, it's tomorrow. So when the
because they got early games, October 2 and 4. I think October 2 and 4 in Dubai against Philly, so they get to open training camp early.
okay. Yeah, we excited about that. It's always excited for basketball season when your football team stinks. So a lot of Jets fans is going through this. We ain't the only ones that's 0-3. And
Right.
I don't want to just crap on Jets fans. There's a lot of other teams that has been looking pretty bad this past this past year. I don't think that we're the worst team in the league or anything like that. I think we actually have talent on this team. I think we might have the worst coaching staff in the league, which is saying something. Like, as much as I really liked this coaching staff before, I actually
Uh,
think we have talent in this team. I think Brian Dable is. But here's the thing, though. I actually like Brian Dable. It's just something is not connecting with him and this offense. Like, he is not the offensive genius that a lot of people think of him as. And he does have a very, very good resume and has been successful everywhere that he's gone, except for here. All of that might not be his fault. I think a lot of that has to do with the GM. But since the GM is the boss, Brian Dable is going to get fired first. That's just how it is.
and it's too early for this, but I don't know what that quarterback class is looking like. if,
What? We
if the
not drafting up.
Giants,
I don't think so.
we listen. That's the mistake we made. All respect. Listen, Dart didn't even throw. He hasn't even
Right?
started one game yet. So respect,
I know what you mean.
respect.
I know
But
what you
I
mean.
remember that happened with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones had this good season. Oh, we don't quarter that quarterback class. We did not. I think we had a top 10 pick, had an opportunity to get a quarterback. Might have been Allen. I don't know if
Well,
it was Allen, but
well,
we had an
yes,
opportunity.
we
And
could have
we
drafted
no,
Allen.
oh no, we got Daniel Jones. We got our so
Look, Steph, we could have drafted Allen. We could have drafted Mahomes. We could have drafted Herbert. We could have drafted Tua. We could have drafted damn near half the starting caliber quarterbacks that's starting right now instead of Daniel Jones, and we didn't. We could have had Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was picked the last pick of the first round. We had a first round pick. We could have had him too. So it just, I don't know. Hindsight is always 2020, obviously, and
yeah,
like I
yeah,
said,
yeah.
the draft has always been a crapshoot. It still is. Um, yeah, like everybody wanted Cam Ward. I wanted Cam Ward. Like, if we had the first pick of the draft, we would have picked Cam Ward. I would have said pick
Right,
Cam Ward.
right.
Jackson Dart might be better than Cam Ward. You never know.
You never
It
know.
really is a crapshoot. Or one of these other quarterbacks that that was drafted in the later rounds might end up being really, really good. Never know, man. Wonder Woman said, "Is this Dable's first? Yes, this is his first head coaching job. He's been an offensive coordinator, and he's been position coaches, and he coached in college under Nick Saban in Alabama. But he has a very, very good resume for his head coaching job. But he has not
Right.
been. And the crazy part is, he has a coach of the year here.
Yep.
So his resume is still extensive. Like, think about that. When he does get his goes for his next job, he could say, as soon as I came in there, I won coach of the year. Joe Shane gave me some duds, and the team went downhill.
Dable is coaching for his career. Forget just coaching for the job with the Giants. Where is Slickback? What was the coach we had with the Slickback
McAdoo.
Mac? Where's McAdoo? He's still in the league?
Oh, damn, where is Ben McAdoo? I don't know. He has to be
Okay
somewhere,
now.
or maybe
All
he's in
right now.
college somewhere. Pat
Okay.
Shermer. Pat Shermer is the offensive coordinator for Colorado. Um, Joe Judge is the quarterback coach. Is he the quarterback coach? But I think he coached Jackson Dart, I believe, because he's an old.
College though.
Well, in college, yes, he went back to college. He plays. I mean, he coaches for Ole Miss with Jackson Dart. I just don't remember what capacity he coaches, but he's definitely either some type of offensive coordinator or quarterback coach there. So
So look at the trend. If you don't make it with the Giants, you
you
go to
go to
become a
college.
college coach.
All of them is in college. I got to look up Ben McAdoo, but yeah, Shermer and Joe Judge is definitely in college right now.
I'm playing. I'm playing.
I
I'm
know.
playing.
So salute to the chat. Wonder Woman. Dwayne, any last words, Steph? I know you got shows Thursday, right? Thursday,
Yeah,
9 o'clock.
Thursday we're gonna have some clips from what happened? Am I still there?
Man, you still here?
Oh, okay. We're gonna have some clips from Media Day. We'll talk about that, and we'll also talk about Shams. Um, he had a small clip too that not only is word is not only is Brogdon going to make the team, but that he's going to have a significant role in the rotation. So
I didn't know that. I didn't hear that.
all right, yeah, yep, yep. So we'll talk about we'll give our thoughts on that Thursday as well.
All right. So salute to everybody to the chat. Steph and I will see you on Dope Soul on Thursday. And we out. Peace.
We out. Peace.